Welcome, friends, to this second half of the second day of our three-day event here in Besalu, Spain. I'm very happy to see you again. All beautiful souls, wonderful seekers of the same truth, same search that I am doing. We are like co-travelers. We're traveling together on the same path, which makes me feel very happy. I mentioned to you how love and devotion is the secret of the spiritual path. No love and devotion, no spirituality, all mental games. That is why we should do what we can to respond to the love we experience from such a person like a perfect living master. That love comes from him. We can't think and say, let's love somebody. Thinking never creates love. There's a Persian verse, Ishq awwal dar dile mashuk paida mishwad, which means love is first born in the heart of the beloved. If there's no beloved, you can't be a lover. The beloved sign must come from a beloved that you can become a lover. So that is why it is the pull of a master that actually makes us to respond. Why do we use two words, love and devotion? Why not simply say love? Because when love pulls us, our response automatically is devotion. We become devotees only when the love comes and we respond, and that is devotion. It becomes automatic. So that is why love and devotion go together. I have seen great examples of that love. There was a veterinary doctor. I've told you some stories before. Dr. Ishwar Singh of Kapurthala. Much later, after Great Master had passed away, he had something from Great Master which he treasured a lot. The old shoes of Great Master. Great Master had given him those shoes, and he kept them locked up in a safe place in his house. I had a friend on the east coast of United States. His name was Roy Call. He's passed away, so I can take his name, Roy Call. And I and Roy Call traveled together to India. He said, I'd like to see the Dera. I'd like to see some old satsangis, if they still are there. I took him to the Dera, showed him all the buildings and the well where we used to drink water from, and how we used to have a bullock running the well. And when the bullock was resting, we would push the well and get the water. All old stories I was telling him. He said, is there an old disciple of Great Master still living, whom we can see? I said, yes. The best I know is Dr. Ishwar Singh in Kapurthala state. So we went there to his house, and Ishwar Singh met us with a lot of affection, a lot of love. And this man, Roy, was very impressed. So Roy said, my friend Ishwar tells me that you have something of Great Master, something belonging to him. He said, yes, I have his shoes, I've locked them up. Can I have a look at those shoes, please? Roy Call opened that closet of his, and the shoes were there. Roy Call went, touched the shoes, and had tears in his eyes. Ishwar Singh couldn't stand that. He also had tears in his eyes. And he told me, I want to love this man. He's never seen my master. And just by looking at the shoes, he's having these tears in his eyes. It's amazing. And he said, what can I do for him? What can I give him? Now, when Ishwar Singh retired from his job, the Maharaja of Kapurthala, the Prince of Kapurthala, had given him a gift. He was very favorite of the Maharaja, so the Maharaja gave one of his best gilded gown made of gold thread. And it was beautiful, expensive, but Maharaja gave it to him as a parting gift, retirement gift. He had packed it up and put it also somewhere. He took it out and said, this is the minimum I can give to this man. So Roy called. He put that gilded gold jacket, that long coat, and he said, I am like a king. And Ishwar Singh said, yes, you are like a king because you are wearing something which I am giving because of your respect you have shown to the shoes of my master. These kind of experiences were rare. Once upon a time, that's how the story begins anyway. Once upon a time, great master decided to visit a town outside. Otherwise, all his discourses were in the Dera. He used to come, before he retired from his job, he was working as a subdivisional engineer on roads. He used to do the construction, repair of roads in the military engineering service. So when he retired, he settled down where his master, Baba Jamal Singh, had set up his two huts, Dera. There was no Dera, in fact. It was just the place where Baba Jamal Singh, his master, lived. So when Ishwar Singh settled down in that place and found out that great master is the one who is a master, he didn't know where he was. The first few disciples of great master were actually Muslims, because great master teaching transcended all religions. People of all religions were his disciples. People of all faiths were his disciples. People of every nationality were his disciples. People who were atheists were also his disciples. So you can imagine the variety of people we used to see there. The Muslim disciples lived in the same town, Kapurthala, where Dr. Ishwar Singh lived. Ishwar Singh was always looking for some holy person, some enlightened person to give him some spiritual knowledge. And every holy person who came there, he would meet him and discuss him. He read many books also. Then these Muslim people said, if you want to find a real master, a perfect real master, he lives on two huts there on the bank of the river. Huts were built by Baba Jamal Singh, and now the current great master comes there to give a little talk to a small group every weekend. He's on a job, but he comes only on weekends and gives a discourse every Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. Then he next day goes back to work. You want to go and see him? That's the time to go. But he's there all night till the next morning. Ishwar Singh said, I'll go. Normally he was riding horses, veterinary doctor, but that day he took a bicycle and on the bike went down the bank of the river Beas. He was told that the Dera where you will see the master is about 3 miles downstream on that river. He rode 3 miles, he walked some miles, 3 miles passed, no sign of any Dera. He asked somebody, what are you looking for? Maybe 3 miles. You know, in India, at that time, if you asked for directions, they would say it's 1.5 mile. 1.5 mile. You go 1.5 mile, ask somebody, how far is the destination? 1.5 mile. You could go on forever, it will be 1.5 mile. Very consistent. This man went 9 miles, 3 times the distance, and never saw the Dera or the hut. At 9 miles downstream, there was a boatman. There was no bridge, but there was a village on the other side of the river. The boatman used to carry people during the day to that village. It became a little late in the evening, so Ishwar Singh asked the boatman, can you take me across? He said, you come on the wrong side of the river. What you're looking for is on the other side of the river. You are on the Dilma side, which is the other slope side, and the great master lives on the other side. So he asked him, begged him, please take me. He said, there is no road on the other side to go up. And there is no pathway. It doesn't matter, he said, I'll go on my bike. There's no bike way also. They're all forest and lot of thick plants. You can't even drive the bike there. He said, I'll carry the bike on my head. Anyway, he persuaded the boatman and he got on the other side of the river and he carried his bike on his head, sometimes trying to find the way near the river, sometimes losing the way. And for hours he spent just to travel those 5 or 6 miles. Early morning, he reached there and saw a hut, 2-room hut. And he realized that is the dera. So he knocked on the door. And a woman came up, an elderly woman, who later on he found her name was Bibi Ruko. Ruko, he had heard from his Muslim friends, was a very, very enlightened person. She has been with Swamiji of Agra, attended on him. She has been with Baba Jamal Singh, and now she is there with Baba Sawan Singh. And when the lady came, he recognized this is the same Bibi. Bibi started shouting at him, angry, used very vulgar language, and said, this is what you can do to come to a master at this time? Have you no sense that you come to disturb him at this time? Go away. He was so shocked that a woman who has spent her life with 3 masters should have so much anger. If she's not changed a lot, what will I get from this master? Totally disappointed. He went back home. Later in the morning, he asked his neighbors. He says, you were wrong. There's no master. I saw that woman you were talking about, enlightened woman. She's so angry, so foul in her language. And if nothing has happened to her in 3 masters, what will I get from there? And they laughed at him. They said, master played a trick on you. He said, what do you mean master played a trick on me? He said, did you go to see the master or that lady? He went to see the master, but the lady stopped me. No, it was a test for you. Masters can play such unusual tests that you don't even realize. He was testing how keen are you to see him. In spite of an artificial wall of anger created in front, next time you go, she'll be the finest, most courteous lady you'll ever meet. She played a role. He said, I can't believe that masters can do these kind of tricks. He said, you don't know, they are very playful masters. They are not ordinary teachers. They have not come here to teach anything, they have come to be our friends and through friendship take us back to our true home. Very different role they have. Now you go again. Now he knew that the meetings took place at 5 o'clock in the evening, and he knew that the land around that little hut belonged to a chief, a real Sardar who owned all that land. And the chief had his horses all taken care of by Dr. Ishwar Singh, good friend. So he told the chief, Chief, let's go. I want to go on your land, but then I want to go and see that master who lives on the river. Chief said, I am not going to go there. He said, why not? He said, that's not a good place to go to. I understand anybody who goes there never comes back. I'm not going to take the risk. He said, will you please just come with me? We'll see the master from a distance, because he is going to give a discourse. In the evening, he gives a discourse. So chief agreed that I will not go to see the master. From a distance, we can see him. So they both took their horses and they rode there. And when they tied their horses to a tree and stood there, master was at that time delivering a discourse. In those days, there were no chanters, or master sat alone on the stage. And he had a book in his hand. And he was reading something from the book, some verses from the book, and then keeping the book side and explaining what it meant. When he saw these 2 people, he put the book aside and called them with his hand like this, come. Ishwar Singh said, Chief, he knows you, this is your land, so he's calling you. He said, no, he's not calling me, he's calling you. So they decided to separate and see who is calling. The chief went on one side, Ishwar Singh on the other side. Master looked both ways and called Ishwar Singh, you come. Ishwar Singh came and he sat at the back. Crowd was 20, 25 people. That used to be the normal crowd of his discourses at that time. So Ishwar Singh sat at the back. Master put up the book in his hands, and he saw he was sitting there. He put it back and called him, come in front. So Ishwar Singh moved from the back, sat right in front, and looked at the master and looked at the book. As the master read from the book and explained, he said, that is the secret how he's become a master. He's got the secret book. Everything he's teaching is from that secret book. When the discourse was over in about an hour, he got up, Master, can I borrow that book for a week? Master said, no. Sometimes I have to read it during the week. Master, can I borrow the book for one night so that I can read it at night and give it back to you in the morning? Master said, no. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and I have to read it. Ishwar Singh said, Master, I have got 75 rupees, the coin at that time, which is valuable much more than today. I've got 75 rupees. I'll give you all 75 rupees if you give me that book. Master said, if you give me 1,000,000 rupees, I won't give you the book. He got completely convinced. The whole secret is in the book. He told me, later he became a very good friend. In fact, he spent a lot of time in our house at the end of his life. He told me, had Master given the book, he would have never gone back to him. He went back and he told his neighbors, this Master's trick I found out. It's a book. He said, did you see the name? Yes, I saw the name. I noted down the name. It was called Sar Bachan. And they laughed. They said, that book is available for 2 rupees in the market. Anybody can buy it. He played another trick on you to tell you books don't carry what he is teaching. Now go again. So this time all prepared, and having heard that Master was discoursing about initiation and Namdan and that he accepts a person when he initiates, he went again. One day when the Master was just sitting outside his hut on a chair, he folded his hands and said, Master, you proved to me who you are with the 2 tricks you performed. Now give me initiation. I'm ready. Master said, have you broken your arm? He said, is that a requirement? No, it's not a requirement, Master said. It just so happens that your time for getting initiation will be after you break your arm, after it is healed, then you come back to me, I'll initiate you. But Master, why would I break my arm? Well, one can fall from a horse. He said, Master, I've been riding a horse for years. I don't fall from horses. He says, no, one can sometimes fall. Therefore, when you have had your fracture of the arm and it has got it healed, then come back, I'll initiate you. Master, you put a very strange condition. I never heard about that. But he left, came back. When he came back, his wife, whose name was Maya, she said, where have you been? The prince, the Maharaja has been calling you all day. 7 messages have come for you. So he said, some animal must have gotten very sick, and therefore the Maharaja wants to call me. So he rushed to the palace. The Maharaja was sitting in his throne on the palace, and he said, where have you been, Ishwar Singh? He said, I went to see a Maharaji. He said, there's no Maharaji, I am the Maharaj. Oh, great master used to be called as Maharaji at that time. So he said, I have been waiting all day for you. And Ishwar Singh said, what can I do now? Any animal sick? No, I have been waiting for you to honor you, because I have just this morning got 2 new horses, straight from Arabia, Arabian steeds. And I have said, I will not ride that horse unless Ishwar Singh is there to ride with me. Ishwar Singh said, forgive me, Your Highness, I will not ride the horse. He said, what has happened to you today? He said, no, Maharaji told me, you will fall from a horse and break your arm. He said, you have been riding with me every day. Have you ever fallen from a horse? And you are following the superstition. A man you go and see creates superstition in your head and you follow it? Okay, all right. After a little argument, he said, all right, to save my face, let's both get on the horse. I'll ride off and you can get off. He said, that is all right. So the Maharaja got on one horse, Ishwar Singh got on the second horse, and the horse sped immediately. It didn't know the terrain, there was a stone, it hit and fell, and the horse fell on the Ishwar Singh, hit a multiple fracture on his arm. In pain, he said, Master, you know everything, you're too clever. But it took a long time. It not only fractured his arm, it got right up to the shoulder, calcification took place. And instead of 3-4 weeks used to put in plaster, it was 6-7 weeks, 8 weeks, much longer. When they removed the plaster, they found the calcification has gone to a point he could not really raise his hand. So he went back to Master. Master broke my arm, I am healed and I am back for initiation. Master said, raise your right hand to your ear. He said, Master, there's calcification, I can't raise it. Sorry, no initiation. He said, every time you put a new condition? He said, no new condition. I told you last time, after you break your arm and heal it, then come to me. Master, this is calcification. This is a permanent condition for me. I don't think I can heal it at all. Master said, if your horse breaks his leg and you want to heal, if calcification takes place, what do? Master, that's a very terrible treatment. We use some strong acids to dissolve that. The horse feels so much pain. He hits the ground and makes a hole in it. Great Master says, why don't you try it? Master, I'll die with that kind of treatment. He said, okay, dilute it. Use some turpentine oil, use that acid and mix it up in a ratio. Ishwar Singh went back and he tried, and the calcification disappeared. And he came and got initiated. I'm sometimes wondering how lucky we are. We didn't have to break our arms. Very lucky to get initiation, much simpler than people used to get. And this man got convinced. This is a perfect living master. Of course, he made great progress in meditation. And he and my dad became good friends. And once they were both attending satsang together, the discourse. And great master said, if a seeker is able to have even the darshan, even look at the face of a perfect living master, he is guaranteed to go back home. It's only a question of time when he will go. A darshan is good enough for that. They were both very affected by that. After that, my dad said, the best thing I can do for any friend of mine is to just take him to see Master, then you can go home. Your job is done. He said, that's the best thing I can give to my friends. Ishwar Singh also believed that. He also said, I want my dad now to get initiated. Dad was a very strong fundamentalist believer in the Sikh religion as was being practiced, where they believed that the Guru Granth Sahib, their scripture, is the Guru now, and there will be no more human gurus. Therefore, his father was a great believer in that. And Ishwar Singh tried to explain, why don't you come and look at that man? He says, I am going to look at no man who claims to be a guru, who claims to do these things. Only my Granth can now take me, and I read it every day. Ishwar Singh said, just come, look from a distance, and come back. No way. He tried his best to persuade his dad to come and see the Master. He went to Master. He said, Master, I want you to bless my dad and give him initiation also, which you have given me. He said, Ishwar Singh, You bring your dad to me, that's your job. Initiation is my job. So he tried to persuade his dad even more. Nothing happened. One day, Ishwar Singh found out that great master is going to travel by train. And the train station has a platform which is at the bottom, and we have to go several steps up for getting a transport. So he told his dad, Dad, I have little work with the station master there, the station superintendent. I had to talk to him something. Would you like to accompany me? He said, yes, I can come along with you. So the dad and Ishwar Singh are on their horses at the station. He said, Dad, hold my horse. I'll go talk for 5 minutes to the station superintendent here, and then we'll go back home. So the dad said, okay. He took hold of the reins of the horse. Ishwar Singh ran down the steps, and great master was waiting for the train. He said, Master, 10 minutes more for the train. My dad is up there. He used to call him Bapu. Bapu is up there. Can you come and give him darshan? Great master said, certainly. And they both ran like children. I can picture how it was. They both ran up the stairs. But the dad had some suspicion something is going on. He had left his horse and gone away. He left Ishwar Singh's horse behind and left. Great master said, sorry, Ishwar Singh, your dad has left. He's not here. He said, but you said, bring him and I'll initiate him. That promise stands, Ishwar Singh. You bring him to me, that's your job. Initiation is my job. So he's thought of a very novel method of bringing his dad, which I recommend to you not to use. While the dad was sleeping early morning, Ishwar Singh brought a big long rope and tied him up on the bed. He was a strong man. The beds are small, lighter than we find here. And he had hired a horse cart, we call it tonga, a horse cart, to take directly to the dera. And when the dad woke up, what are you doing? Dad, I'm taking you to my master. Is this the way? You're mad? How can you tie me up? He carried the whole bed and put it on the horse cart, tied up further on the horse cart. And Dad is shouting and crying, my son has got mad. All the neighbors came out and said, what's happening? Ishwar Singh said, my dad's got crazy mad. I'm taking him to hospital. Dad said, I'm not mad, he's mad. Everybody said, take him quickly. True story. And there is a great scene going on. Great master sitting outside his hut, and a horse cart is coming with the man tied up by ropes, and another Ishwar Singh riding on a horse along with it. Great master saw, and he got up from his chair. What is this? Ishwar Singh said, Dad, I have brought my dad to you. He said, is this the way to bring a dad? You are mad. And the father said, that's what I've been telling him. And great master said, take him off. Look, he's hurt himself with the ropes. Put some balm on it. And some sevadars came, some people serving came, and they took him off. And he said, take him in and put some balm, treat him, put a bandage. This is the kind of mad fellow. And he took the father inside, and great master came out and did like this, not to make a noise. He says, come after 3 days. Ishwar Singh thought, what will happen in 3 days? 3 months, 3 years, not going to persuade my dad. Anyway, he left. After 3 days, he returned. When he came, he saw great master still sitting on the chair. Normally, he'd sit outside the hut in that weather. And his dad standing in front of him like this, holding his hands, folding his hands. And he was surprised. As it happened, when he got off from the horse created mess on the ground. His dad took off his shirt, said, in the presence of such a great master, you are dirtying the place? You are truly mad. And he cleaned it up. He said, is that you, Bapu? Is that really my dad? how have you changed? He says, no, you never explained to me who he was. I now realize he is the very embodiment of a Satguru described in my Guru Granth Sahib. He is the same who's been described there. And shall I tell you? Only this morning I was so lucky I got initiated from him. Story of Ishwar Singh. It is not to be followed by anyone. Your dads will come easily if you tell them the story. This man, Ishwar Singh, had so many events with the great master. He said, he spent some last few years at my house. We were so close. I was working in the office. I had a job in India, in the civil service there, administrative service. So at one time, my job was very responsible, very busy. I was chief secretary to a state government. And I had a nice big office, but a lot of work, business, meetings all the time. Ishwar Singh would wait outside to see me. Any moment that could be free, he would come in. And I would love to see him. But my secretaries, my PA, personal assistants, they would all be very tired of him. That boss is so busy, and look, this man disturbs every day, this old man comes and disturbs him. Then I couldn't tell them that, no, I don't want to do work, I want to spend time with this man, which I wanted to do. But a few minutes I would get, there was an ante-room behind my office, I would take a cup of tea with him or something, as the secretaries would shout, next meeting, time for next meeting. He would also get disappointed, I would also get disappointed, but we had to do work. When I would leave office, I would go in my car to my house. He would take his bike and come to the house. And one or two times it was all right, he came, but my wife got so angry with him. She says, my husband gets so tired in the office. And I have understood. I have a spy there who tells me you are outside the office all the time. And then after spending time with him, you get time to go in the office, and now you come in the house to disturb him? Very bad. Don't do that in future. She stopped him from coming in the house. And I was too hand-packed a husband to say anything to my wife. So I had to follow what she said. But I did feel that he should come. But he was cleverer than me, Ishwar Singh. He found out from some friends that my wife likes some types of pakoras. You know what pakoras are? Those fried things, vegetables and others fried up. He did another trick now. Before I left office, he would go to the house. And from the gate, from the door, he would shout, baby, great pakoras. She would say, come in, doctor. So by the time I reached, they were having tea, and he was able to spend time. I can't tell you what his devotion was for the master. Toward the end of his life, he gave me the secret. He said, a master in Punjabi, Yar pehla, Guru baad mein. A master is friend first and master afterwards. If he's not a friend, he can't be a master. This is a whole relationship of love and devotion between friends. That is why a master becomes ordinary human being like us. That is why he lives like us. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't be a master for us. He'd be somebody to be worshipped, somebody to be respected, but not loved. Only friends can love like that, which a master can show. And he said, people come to master to see miracles. And he pretends he knows nothing. And they go away. If they're ready, they're pulled by his love. There's something happening here. It's a great screening that happens because of the pull of love that comes from a master. So that is why he explained that if you are not being pulled by a master into friendship, search another master or go wait for another master. There is something that tells you whose disciple you are. That pull comes from there. And this is especially relevant for me as a disciple of great master, because my friends ask me, tell us who is the perfect master. I can't tell who is the perfect master. Everybody has to find. I was totally pulled and completely transformed by this man. I can certify perfectly a master, greatest master. But I can't talk about anybody else, nor is it my part of my life's role or anything. But if some master comes and pulls you with his love, follow him. Even if he is not perfect, he is your master for that time. You will see he'll take you where he can take you. If your desire, seeking is beyond what he has taken you, you will find another master automatically. This is automatic. Seeking is causing all this. You can have series of masters. They all take you on a course of spiritual growth. And when you are finally ready to seek nothing but your ultimate home, perfectly master comes into your life. Tell you another story to illustrate it. There was one engineer in Burma, now called Myanmar, in Rangoon. His name was Trilok Chand. Trilok Chand was a great seeker, and he sought in Rangoon, Memio, some other place in Burma. He would travel to see every holy person who came, every saint who came, every master who came, and tried to get some of his teachings. Somebody told him, what you are looking for, you cannot find here. You have to go to India. In India, in a town called Madras, now called Chennai, then called Madras, there is a Swami. And that Swami is truly enlightened. And he can give you true knowledge and what you are seeking. Now this man, Trilok Chand, was in Punjabi we say kanjoos, very miserly. I'll explain his miserliness. He would take a 1 rupee note in his hand to spend or not to spend, not to spend. That way he had collected 30,000 rupees. Being a small official, an engineer, it was a big amount at that time to collect 30,000 rupees. And he had taken all the 30,000 rupees to go and find the master in India. When he went to the Swami said, have you heard the story of King Janak? He said, yes, sir. Now, have you heard the story of King Janak? All of you have heard? No, who has not heard? Okay, I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it for you. King Janak was one of the kings in India who was also a great seeker. And he wanted true knowledge, not learned knowledge of books, true knowledge, insight. So he asked his ministers, his secretaries, I want true knowledge. Where can I find it? They said, King, you are in a very lucky country. We have hundreds of masters here. They're all yogis, swamis. This country is full of them. All you have to do is to have a yajna or a holy feast. And the better the food, more people will come. So have a feast and then you can ask them. They will give you all the answers you want. So he had a big holy feast and hundreds of swamis and yogis and others came. The king disguised himself as an ordinary tourist, that he is also traveling out from outside. And he, incognito, walked in their midst and tried to hear what they were saying. He was shocked that they were fighting with each other, arguing with each other, who was right, even on interpretation of the same book. No, this is not right. Some came even to blows with each other. He said, these are learned people. They are remembering their scriptures by heart, but none of them have true knowledge. He was very disappointed after that scene he saw. So he came back and told his secretaries and ministers, I'm very disappointed. These people are learned, not knowledgeable. I don't want learning. I want true knowledge. And I want instant knowledge. By the way, when he said instant knowledge, when I hear the story, I believe he must have been an American in a past life. They all want everything instant. Instant coffee, instant knowledge. So the ministers and other members of his cabinet said, King, you had very small feast. You should have a 7-day feast so people can come from all over the world, all over the country. By beat of drum, announce this. So he announced, and a larger meeting took place for 7 days. So many tents were put up for all those swamis and yogis. They came, some burnt fires, some were wearing orange-colored robes, some were wearing yellow-colored robes, some black-colored robes, some white-colored robes, some no robes. They all assembled. Every kind of swami came there. And the king again became incognito and walked amongst them. And he saw the same experience repeated 7 times over. All learned people, all very egoistic, all claiming, we have read more than you, we know more than you. He said, where is the knowledge here? This is not knowledge I'm looking for. So again, very disappointed, he came back to the palace and he told his ministers and advisors, this is not the type of knowledge I'm looking for. I am looking for true knowledge. Who am I? Who are we? Why are we here? They are quoting books and they don't even know what they are quoting. They don't understand. It's just a repetition like a parrot. I want real knowledge. Then some of the ministers said, Your Majesty, you cannot get that knowledge from these learned people. What you need is to go to a perfect living master. He says, where is one perfect living master? On the river bank, little hut he's living. And his name is Ashtabakar. Ashtabakar means 8 folds. He was a hunchback with 8 folds on his back, a deformed body. But he had bright eyes. King said, why didn't you tell me first? I'll go to him and request for true knowledge. So the king, accompanied by a few of his courtiers, went to Ashtabakar. Ashtabakar was surprised, king has come. He said, what brings you here, Majesty? He said, I have not come as Majesty, I have come as a beggar. I want true knowledge from you. Please come to my palace and give us true knowledge. Ashtabakar said, certainly. So a time and date was fixed. So the king invited all the royalty, all nobility, all his relatives, neighboring kings, neighboring royalty, and filled up the auditorium in his palace with all those people. And Ashtabakar arrived. Ashtabakar got into the door and took off his shoes, which is normal. It was normal tradition to go to a meeting barefoot. Took off his shoes, his disciples, 5 or 7 of them, took off their shoes, they came. King had 2 chairs on the stage, one for the master, one for himself. He escorted the master and said, Ashtabakar, I want true knowledge and I want instant knowledge. Ashtabakar said, even an instant is time. How much time is an instant? He said, when I put my foot in the stirrup and jump on the saddle of a horse, that's an instant. He said, oh, you want that kind of knowledge? There's a price to pay for it. He said, my coffers are open. Anything you want, all the jewelry, gold, everything I have, you can take it as a price. He said, no, I don't want that. I want only 3 things. Give me 3 things, I will give you instant knowledge. He said, yes, master. 3 things. Give me your body, give me your wealth, and give me your mind. When you're given these 3, I'll give you instant knowledge. Very strange price tag, but so keen was King Janak to get true knowledge, he agreed. Yes, master, this body of mine is at your service. All my wealth is yours, and even my mind is yours. Ashtabakar said, are you sure you have given these to me? Yes, master. Okay, if this body is mine, I can keep it wherever I like. Certainly. Get up from here and go and sit on the shoes I left at the entrance of this hall. King got up. He said, I am getting something that I've always desired. I have to pay any price. And he got up. The whole congregation was murmuring, King has gone mad. King has gone crazy. Is that he brought us to hear some enlightenment, some talks about enlightenment. And Is he going to get enlightenment by sitting on shoes? And they were murmuring like this. And the king heard their murmur. And he said, they don't know. They only think I have big palaces and I live in a palace and now I'm going to sit on the shoes. When this thought came to him, Ashtabakar from the stage shouted, King, you have no business to think of that wealth. You have given it to me. And king said, I can't even, that's not mine. What am I talking? That's not mine. As he was thinking these thoughts, Ashtabakar shouted, you can't even think what is mine or not. The thought you've given up, the mind is mine. And he took his hands like this, held up like this. He said, oh, I can't even think. That moment, he got enlightened. And Ashtabakar said, no need to sit on the shoes, come back. He brought him back, come sit next to me. Did you get true knowledge? Yes, master. Did you get it in less than the instant? Yes, master. Any doubt? No, master. It was sudden. It came so fast, it just answered my questions. Suddenly, I discovered who I was. He said, I don't want your body. I've got a crooked body of my own. I'm trying to take care of it. I don't want your wealth. I'm happy in my little hut. And certainly I don't want your mind. My mind is plenty of trouble itself. Keep these. But from today, just think they belong to Ashtabakar. Just think your body belongs to Ashtabakar. Your wealth belongs to Ashtabakar. Your mind belongs to Ashtabakar. And in maybe some 20 years, you'll get the same experience again. This experience was sudden. But sometimes masters can give that experience, especially in those circumstances. This is the story of King Janak and Ashtabakar. So the Swami told Trilokchan, have you heard the story of King Janak and Ashtabakar? He said, yes, I have. He said, I function like Ashtabakar. I can give you your true knowledge. You give me your body, your wealth, and your mind, and it will give you true knowledge. He said, it's all yours. He said, I'm like King Janak, and you are my Ashtabakar. All my wealth is yours. He says, how much do you have? He says, I brought 30,000 rupees by savings of my lifetime, and I have transferred to my bank here. Okay, let's start with wealth first. Transfer that money into my account. I have to start building a temple. Now, it is difficult for us to believe the change in that man's mind, that he could not spend 1 rupee, and yet he transferred the whole 30,000 rupees the same day into the account of the Swami. Swami said, now time to give me your body. And this is to be used for meditation, for a yoga which is a true yoga that takes you to the highest levels of awareness. The yoga is performed by breathing through the nose alternately. One breath in and out from the right nostril, one breath from the left nostril, alternate. And you can't use your fingers or your hands, because if you use your fingers and hands, your attention is in the hands. Spirituality is inside, not outside. Therefore, it has to be done inside through your tongue. The tongue has to be twisted back and operate inside to the end of the nostrils here. And since the tongue cannot be turned around because the tendons connecting it, I have to cut your tendons out. He said, my master made my tendons cut, and the Swami took his tongue out like a snake. And he's such a long tongue, and he could put it backwards and could control the breathing from both nostrils. This Trilokchan, went through this torture. For a month, he said, I will not only do it by simple surgery, I will do it by rubbing, not with ordinary sandpaper, with a plant which we call bichubuti, scorpion. It's a very bad nettle rash, something like this. Very bad plant. Every day I will do it for a month. You torture. That's a sacrifice to get true knowledge. And the Lokchan went through the sacrifice and tortured himself for a month. The tongue was separated, and he could then do like what the Swami was doing. He said, now time to give me your mind. Now I'll teach you how to use certain mantras while you are doing the breathing. So he taught him that breathing techniques and the mantra to repeat at different breaths separately. And it went on for a while. He got certain experiences, unusual lights, unusual colors, but nothing more. He was not satisfied. He said, Master, Swamiji, I am not satisfied. This is not what I was looking for. He said, that is what I can give you. I have given you what I got, so I haven't got more than that. You have to find somebody else. After searching more Swamis and Gurus, eventually he found out about Great Master. And he came and became a disciple, got initiated from him, and made very rapid progress. And he used to address everybody with a lot of love and affection, like everybody was a saint around him. I still remember. He became very good friends, family friends of ours, the Lokchand. One day we were all sitting with Great Master, small group, about 5-10 people, maybe 7-8 people. We were sitting in the evening with Great Master, and the Lokchand speaks up. He says, Master, had I known you are my true master, I would not have given that 30,000 rupees to that Swami. It was still in his mind. Great Master laughed and he said, Lokchand, you don't know. The day you came to me, I transferred those 30,000 to my account. He explained something very beautiful. He said, you did not waste your time, nor your money. It was part of your spiritual development to go through that process. And it is only after seeing that doesn't work that you move forward. And therefore, when a perfect living master receives you, he has seen all you have done through your spiritual seeking. And everything is accumulative. No time is wasted at all. Something very new he had heard that day. And I was there to hear this, that nothing is wasted. People come to me, is my master perfect? I said, perfect for you at this time. Because that's all you need at this time. That's what you're looking for. It does not mean he's a perfect living master. But that's what you need at this time. And when you feel you need more than what you're getting, another master will come. Eventually, if you want your true home, perfect living master will come into your life. So this was an interesting story of the Lokchand to show that we cannot judge a master. We cannot judge. I can only tell you a few things. First is the most important, that if you are not pulled by a master, you have to wait. You have to wait, study more, do other things, seek in different ways, and if you feel that pull of love from a master, follow. Follow as far as the master can take. He will not take you beyond where he has gone. Every master has its limit. Many masters, there are thousands of masters, and many have reached astral stage and call it the end. Looks like the end, by the way. It looks like you reached heaven, you have reached every place. That's the end of, that's where creation is taking place in the physical world. There's no way we can know that there is something more. Some masters go beyond that and they take you to the causal plane. Most of them have not gone. And many swamis and yogis are only interested in the energy centers below the eyes, which I explained to you yesterday, and not even going to the centers of awareness. They only give you special energetic experiences and reversal of kundalini, making extra energies available, different kinds of energies. But it's very rare to come across a perfect living master, because it's very rare to find a disciple who wants what they can give. Disciples are rare, so they are rare. Great Master used to say, even at his time, there were more masters than in many other times in the past. There were masters existing at one time could be counted on the fingers of the two hands. 8. He almost said there's never more than that. So it's a very small number for millions of seekers. So seekers are going to masters and teachers who can take them up to a certain level. So that is why you cannot say, oh, I am going to see which is the perfect master, how does he live, what does he teach. You do that, you have fallen into the trap of your mind. The mind is judgmental. Masters are not judgmental. Masters love, perfect living master love is absolutely unconditional. It's absolutely non-judgmental. They will not say, be a good person, I'll come and take care of you. They are so compassionate. They are so full of compassion for the state we are in. They realize we have been trapped. They realize we are trapped in the three worlds of the mind. We are trapped in law of karma. We are trapped in this time and space. And we don't know how to get out. They are full of such love and compassion to take us out. They are not here to teach anything. They teach because we want to be taught. They become teachers for us. Otherwise, then they have accepted somebody, our job is done. But we don't believe it. So we have to keep working for it. Masters cannot say how far they've gone except what they have actually achieved, which is very often based upon their masters. How often they went, where did they go, how far they reached in spiritual realizations. They're all different realizations. So that is why any master who pulls you is good for you at that time. If you feel you are searching, seeking beyond what he has taken you, automatically you'll find another master who will come into your life. Don't forget, if all this karma is being arranged by predetermined method, who has determined it? Our own true self, which is one with the creative power. Not two people. There are no two people. There's only one at the end, and the whole program of creation has been written up there. And in that creation, it's written up how we will go back to the same state. It's not a question of traveling from one place to another. It's a question of realizing where you belong and where you want to go. We are the authors of our own destinies at that point, not here. We can't change anything here. If I want to say, change the colors of the flowers, you can't change them. Astral plane you can. Other planes you can do other things. Eventually you are the writer of everything because you are one with the Creator. And that is why when we say masters come at that time, it's our own arrangement. Some people do ask me, if we really chose our own destinies at the causal level, we were not very wise in what we chose. We could have chosen a great life. Yes, you could have chosen a great life and found no master. You could have a life of riches. You could have life all involved in the attachment to this universe and this world. More trap. And then, if you're very rich and afford anything, you could afford a lot of sin too. According to the laws of karma, you are creating all actions into good and bad. Bad actions are easy if you're too rich. They're very difficult for poor people. They can steal or do something. But rich people, they live in a state of what they call luxury. And luxury, there's a city in United States where people go for luxurious time. It's also called Sin City, otherwise called Las Vegas. And it's actually called. And they are very proud of calling it Sin City. You can commit all the sins. And they're just saying, what happens there only happens there, never happened. There's one casino there. It's called Palms, and they've improved it. What happened there stays there. He said, no, what happened there never happened. And yet, you have to be able to afford to go there. If we want to desire that kind of a life here, we miss something else. If we desire a life of poverty, then also we miss. We're trying to make both ends meet. If we desire to improve our life and do good to people, and we do every kind of good to people, we get rewarded. Next time you go to a higher place, more riches. There's a saying in Punjabi, Tapo Raj, Rajo Nark, Narko Tap, which means that if you are meditating hard, trying to be good, you can become a king. You go and rule. If you're a ruler, you commit sin and go to hell. When you're hell, you want to do meditation. I don't want to do it again. So the circle keeps on going and we stay in this creation all the time. Therefore, when we picked up our DVD, we were very wise to see that when we get tired of the temporary experience, we can get back because we are programmed that at that time our desire seeking will be so strong, a perfect living master will appear in our life. It's a good thing we did, not a bad choice. So that is why you should evaluate like this. The other thing is that we can be born in many forms. We can be born human beings like we are. We can do bad things to a point where we can be in other forms of life, like animals, insects, birds, or do very good things and become angels, gods. Karma is a very strong, very strong thing. People worship Lord Krishna in India, and they say he was the avatar of Vishnu, God Vishnu, and therefore he's worshipped. Even now, though he's dead, he's still worshipped. His story goes, when he was a young boy, they were in a village, taking care of their cows of the village, to take them for grazing outside. His friend was named Udo. Krishna and Udo used to go out together to take care of the cows. Cows would graze and they would have chats, and there were girls in the village. They loved these two boys, and we called them gopis, and they were very frolicking around with them. Krishna would hide their clothes when they were bathing in the pond and tease them, would not give the clothes. Strange stories of young boys like that. And there one was Krishna, one Udo. One day, Krishna tells Udo, according to the records we have got, he tells Udo, karma is a very strange thing. We cannot understand karma. Good karma, bad karma, both trap us here. And then he pointed out to an ant crawling. He said, Udo, look at this ant. This very ant was once Brahma, the creator of this universe. This very ant was once Indra, who's the lord of one of the big heavens in the astral plane. Because of his karmas prior to that, they become an ant. Karma is never undone. It is not that you can now say good karma will take off, wash off. There's no wash off of karma. Do all good karma, you get rewarded. All bad karma, punished. You can have such a strange combination. At death, you can have a month in heaven and a month in hell, just because of the karma. Karma is not that easy. It is the biggest trap. And biggest trap created by the mind for holding us here forever. And we think we can get away by now replacing bad acts with good acts. No, both are rewarded and punished the same way. Krishna explained that. So that is why when we do very good acts, we get very good life. We can even go to heavens, even rulers of heavens. If we do very bad things, we can go to hell. In between, what is in between? We can be an insect, a dog, a cat, a horse, anything. All life forms. Don't forget, life is created. Life, where metabolism exists, where growth exists, that's created by the soul. And all souls are the same, no matter what form they come here. So that is why it's important to know that when we decided to have a karma that is middling somewhere, we become a human being. Supposing all our karma was good in the past, we'd not be here. We'd be up in some heaven. If all the karma was bad, we'd be somewhere else, not here. It's only a mixture of good and bad karma that gives you human life. Always. Every life has good and bad. And I once made a study of it. I made a study in a university I was studying. I want to understand why people, some are very endowed with riches, great life they're leading, and some are poor, suffering. I realized, after examining 1,000 subjects, that we are all the same. Some are having visible assets which are causing happiness. Some are causing intangible, some tangible, intangible. For example, I met some of the richest people, celebrities from Hollywood. People think they're so happy. Famous people spent 2 days in their house. Most unhappy people. I went to the place where Krishna was born. Very poor people, farming. I sat with them when they sang the songs. Are udo karman ki gat nyari se. They were singing in their dialect. And I sat with them, so happy. Face is cheerful. And very poor. When I began to examine, if we take what we have, the tangible and the intangible, they all come out equal, we are all equal. But we don't realize it. When we don't have wealth, we think wealthy people are happy. Wealthy people say, look at the poor people, our wealth can't give us what contentment they have. This is all something that's created human life. But the mixture of these is what creates human life. And that is why we all have ups and downs in our life. This is the best thing we could have done, to have a combination and then be here. Because this is the time, only time, that we have the experience of seeking through free will. No other form of life has that. That is why, if somebody were to ask me, what the greatest miracle you have seen? I have seen the greatest miracle that we are human beings. No greater miracle that we are born human being, the great miracle. Higher miracle that we have come at the right time in our human life, when we can be found by a perfect living master and go to our true home. I'm very happy to talk to you about these things. They bring me into memory, and I talk sometimes incessantly. I have to get some signs. I'm getting a sign for quite a while. Please stop, please stop. So I will stop, thank you. I will stop and see you again tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. And we'll continue the discussion, and I'll be able to answer some of your questions. They have questions. If you have a question, you can write it on a piece of paper they'll give you, and I'll try to answer your questions tomorrow. You can ask any question on what I've said to you in these 2 days, or you can ask any question what I did not say, and I'll try my best to answer those questions. Thank you very much, and God bless, Godspeed. Have your nice time in the evening. Enjoy Besalu, beautiful place, and I'll see you tomorrow.